Hey everybody, Mobius1 here, bringing you another Star Wars Galaxies emulator episode. This video is not at all going to be helpful to anyone except for those that are brand new to Galaxies. However, I needed to make this video because I get this question way more frequently than I ever thought I would get. And that is, why am I dying every time I try to do a mission? So, say hello to Finnegan. This is, the alt that I started this series with, who I use whenever I need to demonstrate really low B-level stuff. Finnegan he has Novice Artisan, Novice Marksman with 2 skills in rifles, 1 skill in range support, Novice Medic, and Hunting 1 in Scout. Not much. And actually, how many credits does Finnegan have? Alright, so he's got some, so I sent him some from one of my other characters. So, what I'm going to do, let's say I'm Finnegan now, who I could demonstrate, as a marksman and do some basic stuff, but let's say I accidentally made my character as a marksman, and I later decide I want to be a melee profession. So I'm going to talk to this brawler trainer. I'm going to learn Novice Brawler for 100 credits. Great. So now I'm a Novice Brawler. This video, I'm going to basically do what you would do without buffs, because if you have full Doctor and Medic buffs, there's no reason you should be dying doing missions at all. So if you watch this video, and after watching this video you're still dying with buffs, you need to comment and we need to figure out what's going on with you, because that should not be happening. Same goes with armor, so I'm going to be doing this video with no buffs and no armor, so you guys can see bare bones, how do you fight. And the truth is, if you are a fresh character with no skills, I do have a survival knife, so I'm going to switch to that. Let's assume that I want to do one-handed weapons. If you didn't have a weapon in the weapon line that you want, so let's say you wanted to be a swordsman, so you needed a two-handed weapon, you would have to check your skill page to see what weapons you're certified for, first of all. So Novice Brawler is certified for dagger. That's it. Alright, well, I guess maybe you have to use, weapons that you're not certified for. So that doesn't make sense. I think if you start as a Novice Brawler, you actually start with like a two-handed axe that you can use. Let's do that. Let's assume I want to be two-handed. Forget the one-handed dagger. So you'd have to go to the bazaar. Weapons, two-handed. There we go, heavy axe. So for 2,000 credits I can buy this heavy axe, which yes, I am certified for. You can see that right here. You can go through and look and see what weapons you are or are not certified for. So I think heavy axe is the only weapon that you are certified for as a Novice Brawler. Yeah. So, what the heck? I'll buy it. So now I have a heavy axe. Awesome. Look at that. Beautiful. So as a character this low level, you're not ready to do missions yet. You instead want to run just outside of a major city. So right now I'm in Mos Eisley. If you are on Corellia, like any NPC city, really, on one of the starter worlds. So on Tatooine, that would be Mos Eisley, Mos Entha, Mos Espa, or Bestine. If you're on Corellia, that would be Coronet, Tyrina, Corvella, or Duaba Gerfel. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but I'm sure you'll know it when you see it. Or if you're on Naboo, that's Theed, Karen, Kadara, or Moenia in the southeast. Outside of any of those starter cities are groups of really low-level spawns. Now, when I say low-level, they may not appear to be low level to you. So on your mini map down here, I'm going to enlarge this for a little bit. For when you first start, it's going to look like this. And what I mean by this is, I mean this con checkbox is going to be off. There's still people that play with this off, and I don't know why. I feel like this checkbox needs to be turned on at all times. And you may not see it if you are in your green crosshair cursor mouse mode, but when you press Alt or whatever key you bind to switching mouse modes, the checkbox should come up. When you turn this on, it puts these colored rings around all the NPCs or creatures that are around you. And what the color of those rings designates is the difficulty of the creature relative to you or your group. So that it's kind of, group combat is a little bit different than solo combat. But we're just going to talk about solo for now, because if you're just starting out, you probably are not playing in a group. Or if you are, you're in a group with other low-level characters, which is fine. So, you can see all these red-ringed NPCs. These guys are more difficult than my character. However, this blue one, which is a Rockmite baby, is lower difficulty than my character, which means I can run up to it, and, oh look, it's running away from me. Alright, well good. If he's running away from me, we're going to have to use an ability to catch him. So I'm going to open my abilities panel, which by default I think is semicolon, but I have it bound to Control A. And I'm going to use a new combat, or a new quick bar. So if I have an empty quick bar up here, you're not going to have all of these abilities as a Novice Brawler, but you will have attack. So I'm going to put attack there on 1. You will also have intimidate. So I'm going to put that over here. You will have peace, which you will definitely want on your bar. This is a must-have. You must have this ability on your bar, and you must have it in a place that you can reach a button very quickly. You'll have one-handed lunge. You'll have polearm lunge. You'll probably have taunt. You'll have two-handed lunge, and you will have unarmed lunge. You'll probably also have Warcry 1. But the one that you really need is the lunge for whichever weapon style you plan to use. So since I'm using two-handed weapons, I'm going to take two-handed lunge 1 and put it on my toolbar. Now, why do we need two-handed lunge? Well, what does it say? Two-handed lunge. This melee attack allows you to slightly extend your range, and it can change the posture of your target. So the lunge ability, let's put it this way. All melee attacks have a maximum range of 10 meters. So if I click on a target, let's look at this Rockmite over here that this guy is fighting. If I look at the distance to the target up here, you can see I'm at 13 meters, and you can see these 3 little red lines next to his ham over here. That means I'm out of range. As soon as I hit 10 meters, those 3 lines, they didn't change. I guess it changes at 5. Alright, so it changes at 4 meters. That's actually just poor programming. But what these lines right here, you see they change to a number. This is supposed to be an accuracy modifier. So you can see I have a minus 18 accuracy at this range. And if I'm moving, it changes to minus 50. That's typically a really good indication of whether or not you're in range, but there was a recent change to combat ranges that extended melee combat to 10 meters. So once we're within 10 meters, technically I can use my attack ability to hit this guy. And wow, I just did some serious damage to him. However, the two-handed lunge, or all the lunge abilities, actually have a range of 20 meters. So if I target this creature, or any creature, and get within 20 meters of him, 40, 35, 30. So now I'm 19 meters from this Gorg glutton. When I use my lunge ability, look at that. Not only did I kill him, but I actually one-shot killed him. I mean, the lunges are actually a really powerful ability. You can actually do it while running. So there, I just hit him. And if somebody's chasing you, you can use your lunge on him from a distance. And look, killed him while he was chasing me. So these creatures out here, even though they con red, as long as you're using your abilities, you should have absolutely no problem taking them on one at a time, or even in groups sometimes. And this is what you should be doing as a new player, at least until you have enough experience to train your first skill. So let's look at my brawler tree. I'm already, just while talking to you in this video, I am already almost at two-handed one. That's how quick your first skill box is. You can come out here and in under 2 minutes have enough XP for your first skill box. You do want to check this box on the far left that says Show Experience Monitor, and that puts this little thing on your screen, which I'm going to move up above my head here, which you can use to track your XP progress. So I'm going to put two-handed one right on there. So now, as I kill creatures, I can actually see my XP progress for my two-handed one skill on screen without having to pull up my skill window. The other thing the Lunge ability does, by the way, is it has a small chance to lower your target's posture. So if they're standing, there's a chance for them to go kneeling, and if they're kneeling, there's a chance for them to go prone. You do get an accuracy bonus to targets that are in lower postures while using melee, but you get an accuracy penalty to targets that are in lower postures when using ranged. So you do some pretty good damage to prone characters with melee weapons. Alright, so now that we qualify for two-handed one, we need to go back to town, and I'm going to put Burst Run on my quick bar, which is right here. Even though I do have a starter vehicle. Oh, I have a swoop. Alright, we'll put that on too. Which you guys will have starter vehicles as well. If you do, you'll see it in your inventory. It'll be an X31 deed. When you right click on that deed and go to generate vehicle, the vehicle will show up, and then the vehicle will move into your data pad under the data tab. So once you generate a vehicle deed, the deed disappears from your inventory and is then moved to your data pad. Alright, now that I have enough XP to learn my first weapon skill, I'm going to talk to the brawler trainer again to train the skill. Now, if you don't have enough credits to train the skill, you can also ask other players that already have that skill to train you in it for free. Most players will do it for free because technically it doesn't cost them anything to do it. However, it's not unlikely that they could charge you a small fee for it. I've never seen it happen though. Alright, so it's going to cost 1,000 credits to train two-handed one. So I'm going to say yes, and there we go. We now have two-handed one, and we got a new ability, melee two-handed hit 1. Alright, so let's take a look at this new ability. It's going to be under combat. So we now have two-handed hit 1. So what does two-handed hit 1 say? Two-handed hit 1, this melee attack inflicts more damage than the basic two-hand attack. Awesome. So now we can actually put this, I'm going to put that there, rearrange my skills in a way that I like. Now that we have an ability that can deal some pretty significant damage, or, you know, pretty decent damage, now we're ready to start taking missions. When we double-click on the mission terminal, first thing you want to do as a new player is make sure, unless you're in a group with like a friend or a buddy, make sure you're not in a group. Being in a group actually increases the difficulty of the missions that these mission terminals show you. So if you're doing the mission by yourself as a new player, you want to make sure you're not in a group with anyone when you get the mission. Otherwise, the game thinks that entire group is going out and doing the mission together. So of course you'll die if you're in a group with like 5 other people when you get the mission, and then you try to take that mission on by yourself. Of course you're going to get killed because you're doing a mission that the game thinks 6 people are doing. Alright, so I like to sort these by payout, and typically I'll take the most profitable mission. However, there is something that you need to know about missions. And if you watch like my top 10 things you need to know about galaxies video that I posted about a month or two ago, you've probably already heard me explain this. But there are two different types of missions that you can get when you use these mission terminals. First of all, you want to find just a basic mission terminal, not an artisan mission terminal or an explorer mission terminal or an entertainer mission terminal. You just want a regular mission terminal, and you want to make sure you're on the destroy tab, not the deliver tab. So when you double click on one of these, you can ignore the flavor text, you can ignore the creator. What you want to pay attention to is the target, and you want to look at this picture here of whatever this is. Because there are two types of missions you can get, either creature missions or NPC missions, and it doesn't tell you what it is. You kind of have to know whether a Jawa outpost is a creature or an NPC, and obviously it's an NPC. What you can use to kind of help figure out whether it's creature or NPC is whether or not the image here looks man-made or not. So obviously this, whatever this is, looks like a man-made structure, so that tells me this is an NPC mission. The difference between an NPC mission or a creature mission, which in this case this is an Eope layer, and this dirt mound obviously is not man-made. Creature missions have multiple waves of spawn. So a creature mission will spawn 3 waves total, which means you get to fight 3 times as many targets, which means more XP. So you get more XP from a creature mission than you do an NPC mission. However, since an NPC mission only spawns 1 wave, and you can loot the corpses of NPCs for credits and loot, NPC missions are better geared for credits. So if you're grinding XP, you want to fight creatures. If you're grinding credits, you want to fight NPCs. So since we're just starting, I want to do NPCs. I, as a player who've played this already, know that Eopes are relatively tough, but I'm going to take this mission anyway. We'll also take, let's see, can we get something in the same direction? So that mission was to the north. Trandoshan to the north. That's another key, is kind of always trying to get 2 missions in the same direction. You can take 2 missions at a time, and your missions are also tracked in your data pad under data. So, are we going to get something here? Let's just take this one to the northeast, Womp Rat layer. That's fine. Alright, so we're going to travel out to these missions, and I will fast forward the video for you. Alright, so now I'm almost at the mission waypoint. What's going to happen is when I get within about 300 meters, anywhere from like 150 to 300 meters, this waypoint's going to move. So, is it 100? Alright, so it's about 120 meters. You get a system message that says mission target has been located, and the mission waypoint moved to over here. So there are all the Eopes from this mission. First thing you need to know is you don't actually need to kill all of the creatures in order to complete the mission. You just need to destroy the layer. However, going for the layer alone is a terrible, terrible, terrible idea. You always want to store your vehicle, because some creatures do have area attacks, and while the creatures may not target your vehicle specifically, the area attacks could potentially damage and destroy your vehicle. So storing it is a way to keep it safe. Now what we want to do is we want to pick these creatures off one at a time, because fighting them all together is a death warrant, or death wish. So using lunge is really helpful. So we can go to exactly 20 meters, use our two-handed lunge. Oh, and look at that, it one-shotted the Eope. Yeah, doing missions is tough. Let's try that again. So we'll go to 20 meters, two-hand lunge. Alright, so this time he didn't die in one hit. And is he bringing friends with him? No, so we managed to pull this one on our own. And I'm just going to spam two-handed hit 1. Oh look, he's dead. So let's run in here. Let's say we weren't doing this one at a time. Let's say we got a little bold and we were like, alright, we can take these guys. So we're going to come in here and we're going to spam two-hand hit 1. And we're just going to keep spamming. And we're going to keep spamming. Okay. You can see our health has gone down a little bit. And to be honest with you, I think we probably did more damage to ourselves than we did, than the creatures did to us. And that's because weapons and special abilities in the game have special attack costs. Oh, this sword has a power-up, and that might be why I'm doing so well. Can I remove the power-up? Alright. Alright, so now we probably won't be doing quite as well as we were, but not that much differently. Alright, so using a special attack with a two-handed weapon causes 72 points of health damage, 37 points of action damage, and 12 points of mind damage. So what that means is every time you attack with this weapon, and these numbers are plugged into a formula based on the special attack, so these numbers will not always be exact. But you can tell we're going to be losing health every time we use a special attack. And you can see that because when I target this mound, if I use two-handed hit 1 and then peace, you see that minus 62 over our head means we actually lost 62 points of health and action because it was yellow. So, if we wait until our health comes all the way back up, we can actually find out exactly how much we're losing, but it's not really that important. What is important, though, is that by sitting outside of combat, if I drag sit onto my toolbar, or just type /sit, you can actually double the recovery rate of your health, action, and mind when not in combat. So if you have, like, a brief moment in combat, try sitting down. It will significantly speed up your recovery time. Now, after the first wave of creatures is killed from the mission, you have to be very careful because attacking the lair will start to trigger more spawns. So what you want to do is you want to attack and then peace. Attack and peace. And this is why having peace on your quick bar is so important. There's the second wave. Alright, so it took 2 attacks for this second wave to spawn. Now, if we were to attack the lair again, oh snap. So we accidentally just aggroed not all of them, luckily. I'm going to attack again and we'll get all of them. Alright, so now we have all of them attacking us. This is probably why a lot of you are dying while doing missions. Because you can't attack the lair. I'm going to burst run, but I'm probably still going to get incapacitated. No? Alright, so we lost them. Alright, so you also want to, like, spam peace as you run away from targets, because that is what's going to break you out of combat. You will remain in combat for a much longer distance than the creature's actually chasing you for if you don't peace. Alright. So actually, let's take this opportunity to prove that sitting doubles your regeneration. You can see I'm at 213. Alright, now I'm at 226. And now I'm at 239. So obviously, while I'm standing, my health is increasing by 13 points a tick. So I can predict what it's going to be next. So 13, it's going to be 291. Bam, it's going to be 314. Or 304, I'm sorry, bad at math. 317. 330. Okay, so it's going up by 13 points a tick. If I sit, 369, 395, 421. So now it's going up by, guess what, 26 points per tick, which is, whoa, double 13. So yes, sitting doubles your regeneration. Okay. Proven. Myth confirmed. Alright, so we don't even need to be at full health to finish these guys off. Fighting one-on-one is key to survival as a new player. So you don't want to pick on an entire herd. If you find yourself getting ganked by the entire herd when attacking just one creature, the reason that is because you're attacking creatures that have the pack mentality, and the only way to prevent that is by choosing missions of a different creature type. I can't think of one offhand, but for whatever creature you decide to go up against, if it is a pack creature, that means creatures will help each other when one is attacked, and they're overwhelming you, you need to choose a different target. That's the only way you can stop that. Alright. Now, another really common reason that new players are probably dying when doing missions is if you're fighting with armor while unbuffed. Now remember just a couple minutes ago when I showed you that using your special abilities causes you to damage yourself. Armor in Star Wars Galaxies, while it does provide you with protection from incoming damage, it does also have a drawback. And armor in most in modern MMOs don't have drawbacks, so this is probably a thing that a lot of newer players in Galaxies are unaware of. The drawback in Galaxies comes in the form of encumbrance, and I don't have any armor on me to demonstrate this now, but I've done a ton of videos on armor in the past that you can pull up. And I might die here. Nope, we got it just in time. If you don't know that much about armor and encumbrance, I highly recommend watching my episode 13, which is called Buffs and Armor. You'll learn a lot more about it, but basically what you need to know is that doing special abilities while wearing armor in Galaxies actually makes yourself makes your character damage himself more than if he was not wearing armor. So if you're wearing like a full, even, one or two pieces of armor, every time you use your special abilities, you are hurting yourself more than the creature is hurting you. If you absolutely have to fight while wearing armor and you're not buffed, just use your default attack ability. Do not use your special attacks, because your basic attack does not have any cost, or if it does have a cost, it's extremely low. So you won't damage yourself by using just your basic attack. All right. However, getting Doctor and Entertainer buffs while wearing armor offsets the encumbrance. So buffs and armor kind of go together. You don't really want to fight with armor unless you're buffed. Alright, so we're going to finish this guy off. And you can see how every time I kill a creature, I just take a couple seconds to rest. I want my health to be, just based on the difficulty of these creatures, I'm able to gauge how much health I think I need to be able to survive a one-on-one encounter. And I feel comfortable engaging around 2/3 of my health bar. So right around here, that's roughly 2/3. Obviously, I could let it fill all the way, but I am comfortable going up against this creature with 2/3 of my health. I'm pretty certain that there's no way it's going to kill me. Alright, so that's the second wave. We're going to attack this layer again, and we're going to just spam our attack. The reason I'm spamming my basic attack here instead of like two-handed hit is because I'm letting my health regenerate while I damage the layer. Sure, it's not regenerating as quickly as if I sit, but since I'm not using my special, like I just said, I'm not going to be damaging myself while I attack. So this is kind of like a good opportunity to not only damage the layer, but also heal up. Alright, now the layer's getting down around 50% health, and when the layer gets down to around 50% is when the third and final wave spawns. So it should be... I'm getting ready for it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clear my combat queue, and I'm going to start doing attacks one at a time. And I have my finger on my peace ability. There's the spawn, I hit peace, my character stops fighting, and nothing aggroes me. Now I can choose my targets, I can engage one at a time, and since I have full health, I'm fairly confident that I can go through this entire group of mobs that just spawned without risk of being incapacitated. 2, 3, and See, now I noticed that I hit this guy, the two-handed hit almost killed him, so he's got just a little bit of health left, so I followed that move up with just a basic attack rather than another two-handed hit, because I knew that if that basic attack landed on health, it would have killed the creature anyway, and it saved me the 62 points of damage that I would have done to myself. Now that I've killed all 3 waves of all of the creatures, the mound is actually going to take extra damage from attacks because there's nothing left inside of it. So that's how you know there's nothing left. The layer takes about, I don't know, 10 times as much damage than it used to, and it explodes very, very easily. We can watch the mound that is made out of dirt erupt in an explosion of flames for some reason, and there we have it. We got our reward, we got some more XP. If we look at our progress, we are more than halfway, we're almost halfway, to two-handed 2 from 1 mission. That's it. Only reason I ever came close to dying at all during that was because I purposefully engaged the entire group of creatures. If I had done that, you know, going one-on-one like I did that third wave I never dropped below half health. I was never at any real risk if I were to have done that properly the whole time. So that's how you do missions. No armor, no buffs. One more mission and maybe kill 1 or 2 extra creatures and I'd have my next skill already. So yeah, that's it. That's how you do missions, guys. If whatever reason you're not wearing buffs, you're not wearing armor, and you're fighting creatures one-on-one, and the creatures are still dealing more damage to you than you can stand, just get missions with different creatures. It's possible that the creatures you're fighting are either resisting your weapon damage, or they're I don't even know. Just they're hitting you too hard. They're applying states on you that are preventing you from damaging them, like they're blinding you or they're stunning you or something. Try finding a different type of creature because that could be your problem too. And then as you get more money, you can afford better gear, but you can get some armor, get some weapons, get some doctor buffs, and then you can get some better payout missions. Maybe get into a solo group. I have a video on how to earn money as a combat profession in my channel. Check my Galaxies playlist for that. We'll show you how to do solo missions. And yeah. So I'm actually going to abort this second one because I don't need to do it. And I think I desynced. Oh, there it goes. But yep, that's it. That's how to do a mission as a new character. So I hope this video helps. If anyone still has a problem, please comment and we'll try to figure out what's giving you a hard time. But I can't see any reason this video did not forever answer the question of why am I dying when doing missions. Alright, so as always, thanks for watching, guys. Mobius1 here, and I'll see you next time.